Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 24 with the Prague Metropolitans. This is it. It's our penultimate season. Our second to last season to do what we can in order to cement our place in history. So, before we get started with that, um, I kind of wanted to make a real quick announcement, and I think it's fairly obvious. A while back, I said we would start a Wednesday series. Um, I think we decided on Crusader Kings 3. I don't think it's going to happen right now. I just changed my schedule at work. There's some other things that have been happening that have kind of taken away some of the time I thought I would have. So if there is going to be a Wednesday series, it's not going to be for quite some time yet, which is fine. There isn't any game I feel particularly compelled to show you guys. I do think Contraband Police will be something that we do a Let's Look to. That could turn into a series, but that's still a ways away. They just ended their most recent play test a couple weeks ago and haven't started the final one before release in Evendless mode. Because while the story isn't anything fantastic in Contraband Police, nonetheless, I do want you to get a chance to experience it for yourself. And I'd rather just look at the game mechanics, which are what I find compelling anyway. So, there won't be a Wednesday series for, I hesitate to say before the end of this year. But certainly not until November, I think. I have some leave from work coming in November, and that might be the best time to do a little bit of batch recording. I think that covers it. Hopefully you're not too disappointed, but I do think it's best for my personal health and for the channel as well. So, back to this. What are we going to do after we're done with the Prague Metropolitans? We're going to be playing as the KBO. And I actually thought about this today. I know I said I was going to do a historical game, but I think if we go back, let me see here. When did the KBO start? It started back in 1982. Now, I don't know for a fact that they actually have. I don't know for a fact that they actually have history going all that far back. But I do think it would be kind of neat to actually see how the game works. I really think it's going to be a really cool thing to go back in time. I also plan on having Major League Baseball in at the exact same time to allow us to either see our Korean players succeed in the major leagues or have major leaguers come and join us. Let's see here. I'm just doing some quick searches while we talk here. Let's see here. Because they've had fairly limited foreigner rules. Let's see here. Oh, it's set at 3. And it didn't happen until 2014 that you're allowed to have foreigners at all. I kind of want to increase that a little bit and fuck with it a little bit. Maybe setting it to, say, 4 or 5 from the beginning. Because I want to see what happens when you see these marginal major leaguers flourish in a setting that doesn't have these thermal layers. So anyway, that's my plan. I think it's a really cool look. at history, and we can see how that all works out. But that's my next plan. I'm really excited about that, and I hope that you will be too. Something different. I thought about playing another major league team, but to be honest with you, I've always wanted to play a foreign league in this game, and other than like some very brief experimentation for a possible fantasy league I was going to run that I never ended up running, I never got a chance to do it. So hopefully you guys will stick with me. That'll be coming in 3 weeks. So 2 weeks from this episode, which I guess would be 2 weeks. I don't know why I can't distinguish 3 and 2. It's been a long day. I'm tired. Let's go ahead and play some baseball. Shall we? We got a lot of guys that are all going to want raises, and we're going to need to make some decisions about that. The owner wants to save almost $10 million. I don't see that happening. There's literally no way for us to save money, even if we non-tendered every single arbitration player, and that would be gutting our team. So sorry, mate, but I'm not going to do that. Enos Bassar Jr. has a really high likelihood of winning Rookie of the Year. He's also just a really good pitcher. I mean, this is a crazy amount of velocity for a left-handed pitcher. This is not normal. So we're happily going to offer him... Do I want to give him a long-term extension? It's kind of interesting because I know that I'm only going to play 2 more seasons. Like, there's no downside to this. So I think I will go ahead and do that. So we're going to offer him a long-term extension, which is what I think. Like, I'm not going to deliberately run the team to be subpar. And I think that's what, genuinely speaking, what they would do. I think it's what they would do if they're going to play another 5 seasons. They would take a pitcher of this caliber and immediately give him a long-term deal. Germán Hernandez is fine, and there's still a chance he could be more than fine. He does want an awful lot of money, but I think he's worth it. I do think having a player, I think some stability in the rotation, at least for right now, is really valuable. I do not know what to make of Lorenzo Richard. I truly don't. He's got a rubber arm. That is a given. He threw 183 innings. He's really durable. But he walks people. And that's obviously not an ideal scenario, right? Like, that's not a great thing. A good mix of pitches, nice velocity, side armor. I think Richard here is worth keeping for 1 more season, but only 1 more season. If he's still on this team next year, we'll have done something somewhat wrong. I had really high hopes for Loefflinger Schultz at one point. And I still think on the right team with the right circumstances, he could be quite successful. I don't think he's a good fit, though. I don't. He's injury prone, and when he isn't injured, he's still not that great. So we're going to say goodbye to him. Murray Camry has had 1 good season. One of the things I don't love that's changed about this franchise so drastically is the arbitration rules. Like, it means I don't get a long period to actually evaluate a player. I have to commit to them really early. And that's definitely causes issues, but we'll get into that. I will happily keep Mr. Camarit. It's a very small salary that he's asking for, and I think he's earned it. I do think having him around is helpful. I quite like Matthias Lehe, and again, it's a fairly minor risk. I really have very little incentive to save money for the owner. What I want is more championships. And I know we just won one, but that doesn't mean I want. That doesn't mean I don't want more. Thomas Larson has at least earned another opportunity because he's never had a chance to actually do anything in the majors. And I do think he's at least got some semblance of a chance to be reasonably decent. So we'll test him out and see what happens. Seleznev. There's a lot to like about him potentially, but I think the very best thing we could do is trade him. I think if we can get a quality prospect for him, I think that's much more valuable than trying to keep him around, because I frankly don't think he has much of a ceiling. I think he is very rapidly going to prove inadequate. I like Johan here. I like him a lot. I think we're going to acquire him. Done. Not saving a ton of money, but saving some. Drogul Zhub is interesting. He was kind of terrible with his former team. But what he changed, I think, is something that he can keep doing. Specifically, he cut down his walks, and that's actually something he's meant to be good at. So while I know it looks like he's not that great, I think keeping him for one more year is reasonable. At least giving him a chance. Don't be fucking greedy, jerk. I don't know why you're being like this, but I am not paying you your full amount. Jung. I was concerned that Jung would come back and struggle after being injured, and I'm also very pleased that that did not happen. He is a phenomenal pitcher that got better after a catastrophic arm injury, and there's not a lot you can say that about. And realistically, he isn't asking for that much money. I don't think there's a good reason not to pay the money. I truly don't. If I'm not going to bend over backwards to try to save this team money, then I might as well go all in and keep this team together for one more year. Melvin Sheffer, I feel he's had 2 full seasons to show that he's a worthwhile pitcher. This is not sustainable. His love of walking the other guy has kept his ERAs quite high. If he was striking people out or getting more ground balls, I'd feel differently. But I think trading him is more sensible than trying to keep him. I don't think we're getting enough value. And very astutely, nobody wants to... you're not a 10-5 guy, are you? No, you're not even close. So we're going to non-tender Sheffer and let somebody else pay him. Marion Boutou would like to get paid like an elite player. He is not an elite player. He was wonderful for our team. I will not deny that. Down the stretch, he provided some very, very lucrative offensive value. And I'm utterly convinced he will never do so again. He's a low average hitter, number 1. This is the flukiest fluke that ever fluked. He's got good power. He's got decent discipline. He can even handle himself in the outfield. But I don't want to overpay for a career year, and that's exactly what I would be doing. Marion, thank you for your service, but you are not going to be on my team this year. Is it present for a spaceman? Is it Caleb? No, Caleb Sellers is in the other game. It's Muldoon Campbell. Yeah, you're not bumping him. And, I mean, I guess he could play DH. But then we're kind of cutting off Fallon, and I do think he deserves a bigger opportunity. I will look at regulars and ask about outfielders. Where does that get us? I didn't ask for designated hitter, I asked for outfielders. They're going to sing a lot of players that are fairly close to his skill set, which I'm not surprised at all about. Alright, you're real dumb. You're real dumb. And you're not that interesting offensively, so hard pass. I like you a lot. You don't make me better this year, but I truly think you've got the chance to be something special because you're an elite athlete. Like, even though your offensive profile is actually quite similar to that of Butoyu, you've got the athleticism to go with it. And I think that's more than enough to convince me that this is our man. I wouldn't say no to getting Graham Higgins too, if they'd give us both, but I doubt that they would. I wouldn't, if I were running the team, I would not give up 2 prospects for him. But let's try, right? Let's give it a shot and see, because we're not going to keep him no matter what. Musari has waited so patiently for an opportunity. I'd feel bad taking it away from him for such a petty sum. So I think a 1-year extension is tolerable. Alain Colin was a revelation this season. Of all the players I expected to have a breakout year in a big way, he was the name I was not expecting yet. I truly thought we'd have another couple of seasons. But he was a plus defender and really fast and above a league average hitter. I don't have another center field option unless we keep Bill Mitchell too. Which I think we will. I think we'll keep Mitchell and Kalan and just see who the better player actually is. Because they're great players in different ways. And so I am more than happy to offer both of you a shiny new contract. I was listening to the Battlestar Galactica soundtrack on the way from home, and it stuck in my head, and let me just tell you it's glorious. Bear McCreary is easily one of my favorite composers in movies, film, whatever. Movies and film were the same thing. Shut up. Yeah. Agofonikov had a really nice season, which is utterly not repeatable. There's no way. Now, that being said, I like what he offers. Like, the true talent level of Agafonikov is actually very reasonable. But it's not this. If it's not going to happen again. I don't know how else to put it. 61 doubles in a season is fucking insane. And I'm not saying he can't hit 30 or 40, but 61 is excessive. So what's going to happen is when these doubles disappear, and they are going to disappear. So a quick look at how most players develop. Singles turn into doubles, doubles turn into home runs. That's what power hitters do. And so what happens is you trade in, say, 20 doubles for 20 homers. That's how true power hitters have tended to work. It's rare to find somebody that does what Albert Bell did in the year he should have won MVP, where he hit 50 doubles and 50 homers. That's just not a thing that happens. That's elite power from every stretch of imagination, and it's something that I think Major League Baseball has not really been able to replicate to that degree. There's some extremely talented players who I think could do something like that. Ronald Acuna is a great example. Juan Soto, I think, could probably make it. Aaron Judge. I mean, none of these are names that are shocking to you. Shohei Ohtani. But it's not an easy thing to achieve. And so that's why I'm saying there's always a trade-off involved. Doubles either turn into homers or turn into singles, but they rarely stay doubles past a certain point. I think most professional hitters can manage 30 to 40 doubles a season. If they have any power at all. Or if they're really fast, because you can run out a double too. But in any case, in this case, the doubles aren't going to turn into homers. Or will they? Right now, he looks like he has no power at all. And that is, quite frankly, not true. He could hit 10 to 15 homers in a season. There's no reason why he can't. He just needs to drive some of those doubles over the fence. So we'll see what happens. All this is just, I just want to talk to him because he's an interesting guy. And talk a little bit about how I see power hitters develop in Major League Baseball history. But we're definitely going to keep him anyway. Like, there was never a time where I wasn't going to keep him. Koning, on the other hand, is interesting. I drafted Koning quite high for a very particular reason, which was to be ready for the big leagues quickly. And he was. He spent one season in the minor leagues, and not even a full season at that. What we got from him, however, isn't that exciting. Is it worth paying $400,000 if he can be a quality reserve? Maybe. There will be at bats to go around. I'm just not convinced that he deserves a lot of them. He's going to have a very average offensive profile, which is both good and bad. Average means he isn't likely to have a very low floor, but it's also not like he has a very high ceiling. I think he is a fourth outfielder, maybe a fifth outfielder. I think it's all he'll ever be. And there's nothing wrong with that. But given what we drafted him to do, it's a little disappointing to say the least. He used to be a much more projectable player. What he's lost are his power and especially his contact. He's going to be average. And I'm willing to pay a little bit to find out what his average looks like, but I'm not going to pay a lot. I think 360 is more than reasonable. No, you're going to be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. How's about 385? Done. Alright. Do we want Romanovitz? I don't think we do. He's a backup infielder who can realistically only play second base. And I don't think there's value in that. Especially when Dima Eisner is fantastic, as is Oitzer. Like, he'll never be a starter. And I don't think the package he offers moves the needle for me. Let's advance time one day. One single solitary day. I'll pay you more money. Have 50 grand. Almost. You are asking for what exactly? Enjoy Caplo. Like, I'm not even gonna hesitate. Who got a gold glove from our team? Mr. Kalan did. As did Dima Eisner once again. Lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. Hitting coach. I do need a hitting coach, don't I? Give me Konstantin Donalchenko. That's a cool name. Kim Moon-jung won reliever of the year. Unsurprising. Really? I gotta fight for you too? Gross. Dagobert, I will give you 50 grand. I'm not even gonna fuck around here, guys. Platinum stick for who? Pancakes, the only guy that got a platinum stick on our team. Yuri Eidman got Rookie of the Year, and that's amazing for him. Like, let me be clear. 9 times out of 10, I'm keeping Eidman. But, like, Overkirk is too bloody good. Like, he's not a good hitter that happens to be a good catcher. He's someone who's phenomenal at both. So I have no compunctions whatsoever about keeping him around. Contracts are getting signed. Glorious. Fans are pumped. Now, the last thing I want to check is what happened with Rookie of the Year and why didn't we win it with Bazaar Jr. I mean, he came in second. Like, this is fine. I'm not going to call this a bad season. But I think Bazaar should have gotten it. I'm not just saying it because he's my player either. It's fine. Lovely. Via won Manager of the Year as well. He ought to have. Really, these fuckers. Oh, somebody else got him. That's fine. Man. Could you just not? Could you just agree to sign where I tell you to sign and enjoy it? Man, lame. Okay. Do you really have a better offer? Or are you just fucking saying that? So I will like bend over backwards and give you your heart's desire. Maybe that's what's happening here. So we didn't get rookie of the. We didn't get MVP or pitcher of the year. We weren't even close actually. Check it out, y'all. Amakapane got pitcher of the year. Oh, this is the inferior Amakapane. Never mind. Fuck that guy. Fuck him in particular. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You can sign on these signatures. That's where you sign things. I don't know where you thought I was going with that, but you were wrong. No! Our mortal nemesis has returned. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I fucking see now. You're gonna regret it, you bitches. I'm saying bitches a lot today. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'll go for Johnston and Lefranc. Monomachus. Simeone here seems like a good dude. I'm going to chuck a vote toward Langlet and see how that works out. But I really want to try to keep my votes to like around 40 wins or close to it. And there's just not that many elite players in this draft class. There just isn't. Which is a bummer, but it is what it is. I have no money for free agents, and frankly, I don't care. So we're just going to keep going. I know you're bitchy because you're not making as much money as you think you should be. My advice to you is shut the fuck up and sign the checks, you jackass. That's it. That's the fucking secret. Just do what I tell you to. I'm the owner now. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not going to be able to do shit in the draft this year, which is fine. I very clearly sold out. Really, dude? You're not even that great. I'll give you an extension, but I'm not promoting you. The Athens Sharks. I think Sharks would make a terrible baseball team. They don't even have hands. That's not a good idea. Yeah, we've got to add Miata. I'm not losing Miata for nothing. That's just absurd. I don't care about the rest of you shits, but I wasn't going to lose Miata. Not Felix Potlov. You sure do love dem pot. I'm not really gonna mess with anything here. There's not really anything that intrigues me. So I'm just gonna quickly complete the draft. Because I don't care. Felix Potlov is, like, no doubt a solid catcher. Do I have a backup catcher? I do. I have Mr. Pichard here. We've kind of become catcher U, and I wasn't planning on that, but I'm still here for it. Still nobody made it. It's fine. I don't think I have any money to sign international free agents. I think you have deprived me of that joy. I do not, in fact, so I will not bother. I have no money. I'm not going to get a good player for 300 grand, so I'm just going to ignore it. And yeah, you're cutting your budget, my budget, because you're a jackass. Because you an asshole, mate. All right. What happened? Why have we not filled the spring training roster? What is going on? Yeah, literally everybody on this roster should be promoted. Stoika. I do need a quality infield guy. What about Mr. Mladic here? Mr. Mladic is perfectly serviceable. I think we can give him a chance to win a job in spring training. I'm gonna give Miata a chance to get some time here. I don't really care about Santo Padre. I will give Kato a chance, but not the Green Hornet. Pantelich, always like giving him a chance. Theo Gallagher has earned an opportunity to maybe win a backup role. Masari here could have a chance. Jerome Girard is going to get some innings here in spring training. I think that's reasonable. I think that's going to do it. Like, I don't want to add people just for the sake of adding people. And it's not like we have any obvious players that don't deserve their spot. Alright. So let's go ahead and sim through spring training. Not the most exciting offseason, I know. But really, fucker, can you not? Can you cease your nonsense? I mean, that's on me. I didn't really invest in reasonable alternatives if someone were to get hurt. Whatever, man. I could give Alexeyenko an odd inning or two. And I have no money for free agents, so even if I wanted to add people, I can't. I'm not going to say that's our season right there, but that's definitely a pretty big kick in the junk for the early season. We'll see what happens. That's worse. That's much worse. Oh, that is the fucking worst. Oh, that is really bad. I don't have a starting pitcher that I would trust to fill that gap. Golly, I really did not want to test Girard this season, but maybe we have to. Why do you keep getting stuck, game? Why are you being weird? Burdan, I guess, can have a chance. Tavakin. I'm literally grasping at straws at this point because I don't have another choice. Okay, you just released a new patch for this game, and I don't know what you did to the performance, but it's really bad. It's like actively terrible. Let's simulate another week. I'm sorry, losing Bassar is what we call bullshit. I do not wish to play this game. I wish to finish the day. Alright. So, little salty. Little salty. I presently have 16 pitchers. I'm only going to carry 12. So 4 pitchers gotta go. Alexeyenko was an obvious choice. As is Pantelich. As is even more Tavokin. This comes down to picking one of 2 players. Either we give Girard a chance to show that he can start after 1 season in A-ball, or we go with the veteran who's never had a chance. I hear either opportunity, but 2 things actually lean me away from him. Bassar wasn't just a good pitcher, he was a great pitcher. He was second in Rookie of the Year voting, and I still think should have won it. And Bourdain will never have that upside. Girard might. And so I find myself promoting Girard and telling the AI to start him. Because it's the only way that we'll get the most out of him. Is if he starts. Now again, the AI might ignore me. And if they do, that's fine. But I do think Girard is our best choice. And I think we'll have a good season if he can be his best. Thankfully, we've got really good rotation stars. Hitters. I can only carry 28. Masari can leave. I do like Gallagher quite a lot. Yeah, Gallagher's is better than Mladich, so we'll keep Gallagher. So question becomes, which of these outfielders leaves? The obvious choice would seem to be Miata. But here's the thing. No, that's beyond reckless. No, I can't. I cannot start Miata this season. Not unless something goes drastically wrong. I can't do it. He's still too much projection. And until he shows that his projection is meaningful, it would be the dumbest decision I've ever made to call him up right now. I think he's very close though, and if he learned a lot this spring, then by all means we can discuss his future. But unless he had like a gigantic spring and just broke through, which I doubt he did, then yeah. Let's see here. Time Kato did get better. Johan Herman has already taken a giant leap forward. There's some good shit here. Yeah, Miata did get better, but not by enough. Not by enough for me to kind of break my plans, which are actually something quite different. Walter Forget. Let's play some baseball, friends. Let's play better than that, though. We're putting together some wins. Overkirk is getting faster for some reason, which is fun. Albert Tavokin got better. No. We're just gonna stop immediately and say no. I like you a lot, Yonku. You're not gonna be on next year's team. Like, there's no way I can afford you in the least. Sorry, Brosif, but it is not to be. Only a couple of weeks. I'm not even going to bother putting it on the IL because I'm not going to call anybody up. We're just going to figure it out. I know Pancakes wants a new extension. That's even more not going to happen. Alright. Who's doing good this season? I can tell you who's not doing good. Everyone lower in the lineup. Okay, first of all, this is classic stupid behavior. This man should not be leading off. But whatever. We've got some really talented players. And then we've got Bill Mitchell, who's not hitting, but is drawing walks. Oitzer, same deal. Eisner, hard same. This is where the development has to come from. Like, even Fallon is not fantastic. It's still too early to give up on anybody yet, but I am concerned. I'm slightly concerned about the bullpen too. I gotta be honest with you, but some of that's gonna fix itself once we get Jung back. Fucking Miata is exploding baseballs. I'm going to give him one more month, but if by July he's still crushing baseballs and is healthy, he's getting promoted to Double-A. I would love to see Mr. Miata break through next season. I think it'd be a very cool thing. It would be cooler than something that's really cool. I never claimed to be a poet. Alright. So there are some high-level prospects. And remember, I'm not going to deliberately only do things to make my team better right now. Unless it makes sense from a team-centric standpoint. I'm not just going to do it for the sake of doing it. Let's look at Zielinski. Zielinski has a ridiculous amount of offensive talent. He is a franchise cornerstone waiting to happen, and I'm just not going to overthink it. I'm going to be very grateful that he fell as far as he did, and then move on. Gilbert Cantone or Dragoljub Nemanchik. Lot to like here. We are going to use third baseman. And I do like Cantone's upside, so I think we're going to go for him. Or Cantoni, maybe? Look, you know what's going to take you? I will. Like, if you're just going to keep falling in the draft, then I'm not going to let you sneak past me. Everyone needs a Dave Rodriguez in their lives. No, they don't. Samuel Colicchio. You're not that impressive, but you're also not unimpressive either. I do think you're a ways from being Major League ready, but sure. We'll do eat all night long. Jaromir Zarzaki is reasonably okay. Game, could you stop, please? Like, I don't know what your deal is, but I don't like it. I mean, I'm looking at 60 FPS according to OBS, so how about you calm down? I will negotiate with drafted players. I will negotiate the shit out of them. You're gonna be like, damn, that was some hardcore negotiating. I'm like, shut up, baby, you know it. Kolyenko Tarantov has a lot of excitement to me. I'm actually really glad that we drafted this player, because I think he could be a really good one. Kolyenka, 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 Maya. That's not actually how the song goes, but it's reasonably close. Kalinka is the name of the cake from the song. I'm not going to get too excited about anybody else here. I think we'll just advance forward. Because look, our improvements are going to come from within. It's either going to be the bottom part of the lineup hitting the way they should be hitting, or it's going to be one of our exciting rookies getting a chance to play baseball at a higher level. Yeah, we're not scoring, and we're not getting secondary scoring. And that, I think, is the key. I think that is what is hurting it. By the way, you want to fucking fire me? You can fucking fire me. I'm not going to stop you, but... I definitely want to keep our scouting director. Oh, he's not going anywhere. I don't think I can hire any of your coaches. I'm not going to hire base coaches. I can keep them around. Okay. Who's the biggest jerk? It's Reese Dyson. Reese Dyson is fucking us up, so he can take a long walk off a short pier. We went up for all the minor league contracts, minor leaguers, new contracts. Derek Young might very well become my new first base coach, so I'd like to keep him if he is amenable. Yeah, Slava Rogowski should definitely ask for more money. Murasan could probably be replaced with no ill effect. Hudale I'd kind of like to keep just to offer some consistency. So there we go. Play up to the next month, and then we're going to take a look at a couple of things. Okay, first off, getting Jung back is huge. This means I can take Larson, who's probably one of my worst pitchers, and banish him to the minors, and bring Jung back, and just make this team that much better. So I love that for us. I know you want to stick around, my guy. I can't afford you. You want actual money. I can't afford actual money. Alright, next step. Miyato, the #1 prospect of all time. Miyato's is murdering a ball. I think it's time to send him to AA. We've reached that part, and we've reached that time in our history that he needs to be playing in AA. I think he needs to be destroying AA, because if I can, I wouldn't mind giving him a September call-up this season. Are the bottom players playing any better? Not really. I hate this. I hate it so much. I mean, Oito doesn't have to be a great player, a great hitter to be a useful player. But Eisner kind of does. Like, no matter how good Eisner is defensively, and he is phenomenal, and has been his entire career, right now we're carrying 2 millstones. Bill Mitchell is millstone adjacent, but not truly a millstone. Especially if he can offer really high-level defense, which he possibly could. Agafonikov is a bit disappointing. God, do we just try Miyata? Am I feeling that urge? Just give him a shot. He's got so much raw potential, would instantly become one of the better hitters on the team. I don't think I can do it yet. I think I have to give him at least a month in AA, but my friends, change may be coming. Because we're not getting enough scoring. We're not. And maybe some of the guys will figure it out. I don't know. But also maybe they won't. So, I know, Pancakes. You want to stick around. I don't have any money. Sorry. Yonku is fantastic, which is great news. Overkirk and Campbell are both phenomenal. As is Pancakes. And that's it. We get 4 All-Stars this year. 5. I miss Stoika. 5 is good, though. I can live with 5. We're a little more top-heavy than I'd like. I am deeply, deeply concerned about our sustainability once we hit the playoffs. But let's not lose sight that the Girard has taken giant leaps forward this season. Like, this is better than I anticipated him ever working out. And he's still getting better. So, clearly, my experiment was well-deserved. Yeah. We really are good at making pitchers and catchers. I wonder if there is a correlation there. Perhaps. I'm not giving up much, but I'm also not getting much. And that's the issue, right? Win Stanley. Better than lose Stanley, am I right? Yeah, I am. I am right. Shoshnikov, I think, is the one that we know. Or knew. Alright, friends. Is there anything at all that we should trade? Is there anything at all that we can trade? Like, the obvious thing to do here is, if we know we're not going to be successful next year, is give up. It's trade Pancakes, trade Yanku, trade Jung, reload, and see where that gets us. But I'm going to be real with you. I've only got one season left. And giving up these players seems like the exact kind of thing that would get me fired. Because the truth of the matter is, because of the weird way this owner has been, I'm not fire-proof. I'm not. You can't actually literally bombardier. Oh. You got me all fucking excited. Like, that was, like, amazing. But no, it wasn't. Lame. Let's see how... Yeah, I'm not even bother trading with anybody. There's just no point. That is no point. I guess I could trade if I wanted to, but why? See, here's the thing. What do we actually need? What would make us a better team this year? I mean, I genuinely don't know. Like, yes, the obvious answer is, what if we replaced Eisner? And maybe that's something we have to consider. Maybe we have to consider letting him walk at the end of this season and finding a new second baseman. If that's what happens, that's what happens. Guys, we got an incredible career out of him. If that is the case. We got a 9-time Gold Glove winner. And that's awesome. So I ain't gonna, like, frickin' piss and moan. That ain't how I roll. Oh, Miata. Please. Who the fuck is Jan Stahl? I genuinely do not remember you, but I'm happy you're pitching so well. That makes me pleased. Do we do it? Do we call our fucking shot? Bench Koning. Bench Kato and let Miata take over. Fuck it. I want to see Miata. I want to see the child. I didn't even know that Kalan was hurt, so smart me, I guess. I want to see you hit 27 homers in one game. That's an expectation for you, Mr. Miata. Can you manage that? Can you hit 27 home runs in one game? Shutting down Yanku isn't amazing, but if it keeps him healthy for the playoffs, I can make that work. What if I picked Zivat Gavrilovich to be a dude? Let's do it. Like, 4 weeks is no big deal. If we can just keep it together, he'll be back in time for the playoffs. And that's what really matters. What I don't want to do is I don't want to fall out of position. I don't want to be in a position where I'm not going to make the playoffs. That's what I'm most concerned for. Okay. So we've had 1 month of play. Miata hasn't started yet. I'm not surprised. I do think starting him is a little bit rushed. And he hasn't done a huge amount when he has played. So his OPS plus is 2. But it's a negligible amount of at-bats. I think we have to let him try to figure it out. Let's go. Yonku. I need you back, my guy. There he goes. There he goes. He's back. And better than ever. I mean, maybe not better than ever, but still pretty good. Guys, you made the playoffs. That's all that matters. People want new contracts. I would be open to giving you new contracts, except I can't afford them. So here we are. I do. Oh, I do, don't I? Yeah, fuck you, Gavrilovich. I never liked you to begin with. Okay, before you do anything this season, Bonaventure Ludwig is an incredible name. It's just beautiful. The kids can call you Boney. What a name. What a name. That was a tight-ass game. We got 0 homers. But is not the number of homers that makes you a good team or a great team. It is the number of runs. Giving up 3 runs is not brilliant, but that's alright. Couple people retiring. Letting him back in the series. I don't like that. I don't like that. And we got beat. And we got beat because we didn't score runs. Like, Pancakes did everything he possibly could. But nobody else did. And so we are defeated. And will not, in fact, win 2 in a row. This fills you with great sadness, but there's nothing to be done about it except weep. Oh my fucking god, the fucking Dolphins made it? Those absolute douche nozzles. How I loathe them. My most hated of rivals. Don't get promoted in this league and then immediately win the World Series. Don't do that. No, game. It's like I lost the World Series twice. I am disgusted. We have a new team owner, that's fun. Theo Gallagher retired. I got a 2-year deal, that's fun. I thought said Tom Brady for a minute there. It's like, damn, no, it's Ron Brady. All right, y'all. What went well this season? What filled our hearts with joy? Pancakes did. Of course they did. In his final season as a Prague Metropolitan, he has shown why we call him Pancakes, as he covered the stat sheet with the syrup and fluffy goodness that only he could provide. Overkirk had a lovely bounce back campaign. Lovely. Easily setting a career high in homers. Colan was exactly as good as he was last year. Campbell had a lovely season, leading the league in bombs. Oitzer was excellent as always. Agafonikov was decent, but notice what happened. Some of those doubles did turn into homers, and it wasn't nearly enough to have him be a high producer. Bill Mitchell is an interesting player. That's all I'm going to say for right now. Fallon probably needs to go. Probably. Eisner. I see one number and I see two numbers. The first number is 33. He will be 34 to begin next season. And while he's never hit this poorly in a full season, I just don't think it's smart. I don't think it's smart to offer him an extension. Or even keep him. I don't. So we're going to let him go. Because I just can't justify it. I cannot justify keeping him around when... I guess the real question is this. Who would we get to replace him? I'll execute the option one more year. Man. I have money for extensions. We could try to keep Yonku or Pancakes. No, we can't. Just kidding. How'd the pitching do? Phenomenal. Grishek was amazing. Yonku was very good in his own right. Yonku's got a little bit of timeless quality to him, and that he's actually pitched better as he's gotten older. Now, granted, don't let this red number miss your judgment. He was by far the best in the league at avoiding contact. That will eventually change. We got a great follow-up season from Hernandez. I mean, given how light my expectations were, he's already exceeded them by a lot. Girard definitely has some room to grow. But I'm okay with that. We literally took a guy who'd only played in A-ball, gave him a major league rotation spot, and he actually kind of made it work. We're going to have Bassar back next year. It'll be a nice improvement. But next season is going to be really interesting. Like, there is no way I'm not offering you both a qualifying offer. Like, there's just no way I'm not going to do it. And then we can think about, well, who else am I want to try to keep? But pardon me. This is where we find ourselves. And Look, I know we're first in runs scored, and we had the best bullpen in the league. Understood. But a designated hitter who can't hit is abjectly terrible. The only thing that gives me pause about trading him is the fact he is a leader. And our team chemistry is pretty phenomenal. And I don't want to mess with that. I am concerned with how this team proceeds next season. Because I can see two worlds. The first world, we find an amazing replacement for Pancakes. We hit the ground running. That player could be Kurt Arenthal. I mean, Kurt Arenthal could also replace Eisner, perhaps. But we find a big-time third baseman, and we don't miss a beat. We replace Yanku with Basar. We replace Pancakes with... Do I even have a good third base prospect? I don't think I do. Love how Miyata is my number one shortstop prospect, even though he's terrible at the position. Eddie Obando? Maybe? Is Obando literally just fucking Pancakes 2.0? Not to the same level, but close. I mean, the guy we just drafted is amazing, but he's going to be a long ways away from the bigs. I don't love it. I don't love it. Maybe Pancakes accept the qualifying offer, but he probably won't. And then I don't know what we do. We don't have, like, a decent third baseman. I mean, maybe I can make this work for a season. Who knows? Casually having Miyata learn how to play shortstop is just so funny to me. Did I rush him to the big leagues? I think it's obvious at this point that I did. But I needed an injection of talent, and I do think he still has something to offer in that regard. I do genuinely think we've got a real potential big player. How is J. Omar? Did he retire? Or is he still pitching? He's still fucking pitching. Would you just retire? No, you know what, guys? I didn't want to do this. But he very clearly is going to have a miserable career. I'm going to quickly commissioner mode. I'm going to make him retire. Sorry, I just want to see if Makapane actually ends up going into the Hall of Fame, which I think he will. I think there's a reasonable chance that we can have ourselves a Hall of Famer that way. Maybe. Alright, amigos. I conclude today's episode. Hopefully you did enjoy it. I know it wasn't terribly exciting in terms of player movement, but that's always a price to pay when you're nearing the end of a series. Like, especially when we have as little financial flexibility as we do. But hopefully, next season Miyata is going to hit it like 7,000 home runs. and it's going to be amazing. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like the video. It really helps me out a lot. Consider subscribing if you want to see more OOTP content. And until next time, this has been F Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.